What's on Your Mind is sponsored by ACC 339.0, New Style Radio 98.7 FM, Breakthrough Studios, and Reggae Jam Jam.
Good afternoon, guys. How you doing? Welcome to another program in the series of What's on Your Mind. I am Carl. The program is produced by Breakthrough TV. How you doing? Hope all is well with you. Let me say big respect. Oh, it's April. And did you have any April Fool played on you? I don't like those. I always say April Fool, it's for people who needs attention. I call them attention seekers. But that's just me. Let me say thank you for tuning in to Breakthrough TV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. I want to say a big shout out to my guests we had on last week, Stena Nitty. Go and check the program out we had last week. Stena Nitty was live in our studio, live in our platform. Go and check it out. If you missed it, go and check it out. It's absolutely marvelous. Big shout out to you, Stena. Hope all is well with you. Also want to say a big shout out to all my cousins and my family in Jamaica. All the guys I went to school with in Jamaica when I started my primary school days. Baileystown Primary School in Clarendon. Also Alston High School in Clarendon. Big shout out to you. Hector, Tyrone, and all my family, let me say a big shout out to you. Thanks to all you guys who tuned into the program. Massive respect. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Now, this week, got a very special guest on our program. His name is Tony Meade. He's an author, he's a writer, he's a singer, and he's done loads of things over the years. Welcome, Tony, to Breakthrough TV. How are you?
I'm not too bad, Carl. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How your day been?
It's not been bad. It's nice to be here on your show.
Yes.
Talking to your audience.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see where you're going to take the show.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to you.
And you've had a wonderful career. You do some books, you sing, and that sort of thing. You must have enjoyed it, regardless of the. Yeah.
I have enjoyed it. It's been a bit of a mix-up kind of journey, but
Yes.
I've enjoyed it. Your life is the one that you travel.
Mm-hmm.
You have to travel. Sometimes you're going to travel this road, and you don't know where your journey is going to take you. But hopefully, you can direct it in the right place.
That's good. That's good. And I said, we're going to talk a little bit later on about your journey and what you're up to now, which is absolutely marvelous. And so we'll keep it locked there. But as you know, I always look at a few things that's happening across the world, guys. And let me say now, as you know, this is a very big story. Very big story. It broke actually yesterday. Now, Gaza war. The Gaza war is just every time you see it on the television, you just want to go. There's things you want to say that you can't say. Now, there has been a global condemnation after 7 aid workers killed in Gaza by the IDF, the Israel Defense Force. 3 of the aid workers was actually British citizen. And I say, the Israel government has actually said it was a mistake, and they are actually having an investigation. Now, within the conflict, since the conflict started in Gaza, there has been 200, at least, Palestinian aid workers that's actually been killed. There has been thousands of children that actually been killed, and has been thousands of women that's actually been killed, and that is on both sides. So we never seem going to see an end, and we pray. Some people pray that the end will be very coming very soon. Tony, any comments?
I can't see the end of anything coming, because as long as we've got greedy people on the planet, and evil people, they're always going to be doing this. This is not about anything else apart from, what can we steal? That's what it's about. Can we take your oil? Can we take your whatever you've got? And that's what it's about. Britain, America, they're all into the same thing. And there's not much love in the world. These people are evil people, and as long as they are in power, it's never going to change.
Yeah, okay, that's what you're saying. Now let me move on. Haiti. Now, as you know, Haiti. Now, I got to tell you, it's been Easter, and there's quite a few Haitians has actually been coming out to celebrate Easter. But Jimmy, they've actually called him Jimmy the Butcher. Jimmy, and he was a former policeman. And he is the most powerful leader in Haiti at the moment, whatever you want to call him. I mean, I know a lot of people got names for him, whatever you want to call him. And he says he is prepared to talk with people if they've invited him to talk. But he also says foreign forces will be seen as invaders. And as I say, it's just. I've talked about this many times. Haiti is just in a bad situation, and it's been in a situation for such a long time, and there don't seem to be any cure at the moment. Yes, Haiti. You don't know what to say about Haiti sometimes.
No.
Yeah. Now let me move on. Now, over the Easter, an 80-year-old girl was the only survivor after a bus crashed in rural part of South Africa, and they was carrying actually pilgrims to going for the Easter festival, and they crashed in a bypass on a mountain, and actually what happens, the bus plunged into a ravine, and it killed all 45 people that was actually on the bus, you know what I mean? And what we say, all the families and friends, we say big condolence to all those people who actually got killed in that terrible traffic and terrible traffic accident. And say this happens in rural South Africa. Yeah. Moving on. Now, A&E waiting list. A&E waiting list. Now, over 200 people a week may have died unnecessarily last year due to the very long waits for A&E bed. A&E bed. A study by the Royal College of Emergency Medicine, RCEM, suggests patients are put at risk spending hours in A&E, and when a decision has already made for them to be stopping in hospital. And you know, A&E is just, you know what I mean, even though they do good work, there's always seems to be a waiting list in A&E all the time. And many governments over the years, how many times have you heard governments say they're actually solving this problem, and we never ever seem to solve it?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
They don't, do they?
I don't think their heart is in there. They're good getting the money. They're good working and collecting the money, but their heart doesn't seem to be in the job.
Yeah.
You know, they're not trying to solve the problems. They're just doing what their job is, and their job is delaying everything, and they get paid for it, so they're not really that bothered.
Yeah. And I'll say it's been going on for quite many years. A&E has been going on. We've heard about the waiting list in hospitals. And what gets me about it, there was a time when politicians never used to be kicking around the NHS so much. We're going way back because. And now all of a sudden they decide to start kicking the NHS around because they want votes. You know what I mean? Because, you must can remember at the time there wasn't messing around with the NHS. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden they start messing around, and anytime there's an election or anytime there's votes, you know what I mean? They always sort of kick it. We can do this, and they keep changing the system all the time. You know what I mean? And nothing ever seems to get sorted out.
Well, I think that's happening all over. You know, when you look at what's happening with the council itself, you know, the NHS, they're selling everything.
Yeah.
They're privatising things.
Yeah.
And you know, I do tend to wonder, like, even if it's slightly off the subject, you know, if they sell all of these properties that belong to the council, these properties were like, really, it's the people that's invested by paying their taxes for these properties. So when they sell them, what do they do with the money?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, it's like your water, isn't it? Your water is going up. And I know London Water, right? Whoever runs London Water, that is privatized. Yeah. And they're actually talking about maybe they'll actually take it back. You know what I mean? But that all started with Maggie Thatcher.
Right.
Yeah. Let's rewind. That's Maggie Thatcher. That was Maggie Thatcher privatizing everything, and we actually feeling the consequence of those days.
Well, I like Margaret Thatcher, not because of her ways, but I think she allowed a lot of people to buy their own homes.
Yeah.
You know, she made it possible that people could go and buy their own homes, and people started growing then.
Yeah.
So I think I did like her back in the day, but
within that context, well, you've got a point there. But I've actually heard people, and I've worked with guys who was a lot older than me, and one of the things they always say, Margaret Thatcher actually, and she actually made a speech about this some time ago. I'm all right, Jack. You'll hear that a lot. You know what I mean? I look after myself. I'm all right, Jack.
Yeah,
Don't give a damn about anybody else.
That's right,
Which
yeah.
society seems to have become. I'm all right, Jack. Don't give a what about anybody else. As long as you're all right.
Yeah, I think, do you know, a lot of people are like this.
Yeah.
And I'm finding it seems to happen with our community.
Yeah.
You know, like I watch the Indians, the Chinese, and they tend to help each other. You know, and it's like in our community, it's like everyone's for themselves.
I don't totally agree with that in some context. I don't totally agree. I see where you're going with it, but I don't totally agree with that. I think you see every community got their own problems.
Yeah,
I mean, like we probably focus on of who we are, so we probably focus because of who we are, what the community we coming from. But all communities have different problems. It's only because sometimes you don't hear about the focusing of what they're focusing on. But when we're focusing on us, everybody knows about it. You understand?
You know, if the black community come together, because there's a lot of us. If we come together, we could climb mountains.
We said a lot of things, and there's a lot of spending power. We said that many times, and as I said, there's a lot of clout, and there's a lot of spending money. There's a lot of spending power there. You know what I mean? But as I say, I don't know. I ain't got the answer because I've been hearing this for such a long time, and some of the things I haven't seen, some of the legacy I think that we should have left. I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? Big legacy. Sometimes I walk around Birmingham and I think, where is the legacy for what I call the British African Caribbean people? I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? And I know people talk about they've got this legacy or that legacy. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything big standing out there. And they say, okay, away from you look, boom, 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 so everybody can dance and everybody can run. Away from that. And some of those places are closing down anyway. I haven't seen the so-called big legacy that, that some organization or some others or some different people have actually left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You've only got to look at those great temples that you see around Birmingham.
But we don't have none of this. We got
knocking,
English churches.
And I'm not knocking everybody, yes. Or we rent them.
You know, all our people, they're all into the English church, this Christ. And I'm not saying you can't be religious.
Yeah.
I'm really not going to say that at all, because I do believe there's a higher person that made this planet, and before we was on the planet, it probably be run really smooth until we come on here. And it just seems like now, everyone's talking about religion, but I think the religion, the godness has got to be inside of you. You know, that godness, you're made in God's image, so he's got to be inside of you, and only you as a person can do good.
I think what sometimes, I'm not even going to say, I think what sometimes sort of gets me, I mean, because I got very religious people in my family, and I've come from a very religious background, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes when I think like, so when you read the Bible and where that's actually coming from, and how many times it's been changed, even the King James Version, how much it's been changed to sort of what I call rule the world, you know, and they changed it so many times, and some of our people just sort of, you know.
I tend not to get too involved.
Some of our people is heavily involved in that.
The reason I tend not to get too involved in it, in this religion thing, is because there's been books that's been taken away from the Bible.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And you can't read a story if you don't have the complete story.
Thank you.
Right.
And that comes to my point where I say different people have taken bits out of it and do what they want to do because of political reasons.
Right. Well, so what do you think now? What do you really think now when we talk about Russia? Because Russia has now just opened their vaults and showed us all of these, the black Jesus, all the apostles who were black, everything they're showing us now.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Because why didn't they show this many years ago? Why is it now?
I haven't got an answer to that. So.
Is it because they want to be good with Africa?
I got no answer to that, and I maybe some of it because I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I got to move on because we're running out of time. Now, let me say, Conroy Downing, a Windrush veteran who has been advising thousands of others how to make claim. His case hasn't been solved yet. And he's actually told PA agency that he thinks they are just waiting for us to die off. And that's what he says. You know what I mean? So it's another thing about the Windrush, which actually a lot of people has died, a lot of people has been deported, and a lot of people they've put them here, there, and everywhere without solving the situation. And it as I say, and what he's actually saying, that gentleman that you're saying on the screen, he's actually saying that it seems like the governments are waiting for all these people to die off so they don't have to have their compensation. And they say it's been a terrible time for the Windrush generation within that context. Now, moving on, entertainment. Now, Miles Myrie is actually the son of Buju Banton, reggae dancehall artist. And he lived in the US of A, and he has passed away. His brother confirmed his death a couple of days ago. And he says it's not his job to tell you what he actually died of. And at the moment, no one knows the actual reason why he actually died. Yeah, so that's still good news that's actually going to come in through. Now, the last surviving Caribbean service personnel to have survived World War II has died. Neil Falance, MBE, passed away Thursday, the 21st of March, age 99. He would have been 100 in May. And he was a well-respected World War II Windrush pioneer gentleman, born in Jamaica and traveled to England in 1943 to serve in the RAF. 10,000 people from the West Indies came as servicemen to help England fight the war. So we say big condolence to him, and I say he's actually one of the last surviving West Indian servicemen. God bless. Moving on. Now, tribute has poured in for Louis Gossett Jr., the first African-American actor to win a Best Supporting Actor's role. He broke down barriers in Hollywood. And he died the 26th of March, age 87. I can actually remember this actor playing fiddler in the miniseries of Roots. He has also been in An Officer and a Gentleman. His last film was in 2023, where he starred in The Color Purple. We say, rest in peace. You must have known this actor.
No.
You've never seen him before. That's amazing.
I probably have seen him. I don't know his name.
Have you ever seen Roots?
I have watched Roots.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
I know,
who hasn't?
I know a lot of the characters in Roots. If you see them after they've sort of made films, they're totally different. But he was all the one that was on the fiddle.
Right.
You would not reckon, and he was very, very old, and he was a very, very young man when he was actually doing that. But they made him up to be so old, and he was actually the one they called Fiddler.
Right.
So that's him. You know what I mean? But and that's how you remember Officer and a Gentleman. This if you ever see Officer and Gentleman, the very tough commander. That's the same actor. That's the same actor. That's the same actor.
And he's just passed away.
Yeah, he passed away a couple of days ago. It's actually now Jamaican dub poet Muta Baruka. Now, do you wear shoes?
Pardon?
Do you wear shoes?
Yeah, sometimes.
Muta Baruka hasn't wear shoes for 40 years. And he was actually talking to Dancehall magazine. And he says it's nothing to do with his fate or his Rastafarian way of life. His decision was a bit of a rebellion because, and he was rebelling against a popular belief in Jamaica at that time, going shoeless in public and having dreadlocks. Locks in your hair was a sign of mental illness. So he was actually rebelling against that. But he says he won't rule out not wearing shoes again.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
We're in a different country. This country is a bit colder than Africa and those countries. But he's right because he's earthing.
Yeah.
He's earthing his body.
Yeah.
If you don't wear shoes, since we started wearing shoes, everyone gets sick because we're not earthing.
I see what you're saying.
And walking around England, it's very difficult to earth in England because the roads are bloody dirty anyway, dogs and everyone all over, and it's cold. So if we start walking on cold streets, we're gonna have bad feet anyway. But from where he comes from, it's a hot country. He's gonna be earthing. He's gonna be, his body's gonna be 100% good. It's running good.
I never look at it from that point
Yeah.
of view. I see where you're going. But
We
I'm
talk
not-
about earthing plants.
Yeah, I never looked at it.
Yeah.
I never looked at it like that before.
Earthing will turn your I think it's your blood cells to the ones that you need. The good, is it the white or the red? You have good blood cells, and earthing does this. It does something to your body. Yeah, it's very important to earth,
Okay, interesting.
even if it's 10 minutes a day.
Interesting. Now, this story is not on for manuscript. I came across this story while I was coming into the studio. Now, constructors workers working for Birmingham City Council was carrying out duties. They've actually painted a mural, which was a tribute to Benjamin Zephaniah in Hockley Circus, in the underpass of Hockley. And I can remember a couple of weeks ago, somebody was saying, I hope they don't actually paint it over, but they've actually painted over the mural of Benjamin Zephaniah, the late Benjamin Zephaniah that was actually in Hockley Circus. And I must tell you also, there is a mural being opened of Benjamin Zephaniah on the 14th of April at 3 p.m. and it will be unveiled in Handsworth Park. So that is one of those things. Don't forget, guys, to like, share, and subscribe to the program. Now, how you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad.
You're not too bad. So, Michael, where did it all start for you?
Michael. I know you're playing me.
I know how to play you off.
Benjamin Zephaniah, well, yeah, he was a great story writer, so that was nice. He's gone now. It's sad, but it started for me probably in 2010
Okay.
when I was watching a film on TV. I can't remember the film, and the ending of this film, it was terrible. And I remember sitting with my girlfriend, and I went, if they did this and they did this, it would have been a fantastic ending. And she looked at me and said, oh my God, you've sang on telly, now you think you're a writer? And I said, I bet I could be. And that's what started it. That is honestly what started it. I woke up one day, I had this dream, and I wanted to start writing something. It was a story. I'm still writing this story, I haven't even finished it, called Two Souls.
What do you write on it? Tony? You write on your name Tony Meade?
Tony Meade, yeah.
Tony Meade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony
So
Meade.
I was one in your opener.
I know. Yeah. I was writing this story called Two Souls. It's a love story, a bit like Ghost, but I haven't finished it yet. And then I moved on and started writing Crossing Paths for some reason, because I went on holiday and I had a really good vibe about this story. So I ended up. Can I show you?
Yeah. Just before that, because you was a singer before that, weren't you?
Yeah,
Tell us a
I've
little
been
bit.
singing.
Tell us what you were singing.
Well, I didn't really sing anywhere. I used to have, most of my friends used to sing, Lighty, and some of these people that used to be around me. And I wasn't really a singer. I used to just sing in my car. And, one of those car singers or the bathroom singers. And then one day, someone said to me, oh, you got a really great voice. And I just started playing around, and then I just started singing other people's songs. And then I decided to try and do some of my own stuff.
Yeah.
So I brought out a song called Gym Love,
Okay.
which is obviously about meeting someone in the gym,
Okay.
falling in love.
Meeting somebody in the gym and falling in love with them.
Yeah, it's
Well,
possible.
I thought you go to the gym to exercise.
You do. But hey, you go shopping. You go Sainsbury's or one of these to do your shopping, but you can still meet
No,
people there.
I go shopping to do my shopping because I'm hungry.
Oh. No, it was something weird.
Yeah, I
it's not
understand.
every day. It's
I
not every day.
understand.
But you go to a gym, you're always going to see a young lady with a nice body. That's what you're going to get. And I suppose it was that. So I ended up writing this song called Gym Love. It's got a really good vibe about it. I think it's a summer song.
It's a summer song.
You guys should play it. You should play it on your radio for the summer. When you putting your tunes out.
Okay.
You got to put a bit of gym love out. It's nice beat, nice feel. Put it out on a sunny day. It's gonna go well.
Well, and that's it, isn't it? Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
We've done it in Birmingham.
Is it?
The gym in town. There's a gym called Ultimate Fitness. We did it in there. The guy who owns that, brilliant guy, Chinese guy, and he let me film this.
Is that you?
That's me. Yeah, that's me.
Great.
I'm looking good. That's my best friend. That's my daughter. That's my son's girlfriend, and I've got a couple of daughters in this. One of my sons is in it as well. This is some Russian girl I met who lives in my block of flat. And we just put it all together, and it came out really well. It came out really well.
And when was it released?
I put that out. It's been out now a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you record it, studio?
Where did I record it?
Yeah.
Oh, there was a studio at Redditch, but the guy that I used, he was a white guy. He's phenomenal, really brilliant. Brilliant tones. He knew how to mix the music well, and he got it. He done it all right. And but then he stopped. He doesn't do it. He hasn't taken it seriously, so he's not doing it anymore. But talent, some wasted talent here. This guy could make any music out of anything. Brilliant. Yeah.
Or who has been your musical influence? What?
Oh, I've loved R. Kelly. I've loved Bob Marley. Bernie Spears. I love all singers, you know.
Have you ever seen any of these artists?
I've seen Gregory, Yellowman back in the day. Yellowman came to New Street Station when I was a kid.
Really?
New Street, Odeon.
Mr. Odeon.
Odeon, yeah, when I was a little child. I've seen quite a few of them still pulse. You know, I've seen a few people. Obviously, I used to go to the park when I was young as well, when they used to put on these summer festivals. So I've seen quite a few. And I wouldn't say that I'm influenced by anyone. I am influenced, obviously, but I like to think that I'm me.
Okay.
I don't want to, I don't want to sound like Bob Marley. I don't want to sound like Luther Vandross. I like to sound just like me. I don't know what drama I'm in, where I am, but I just like to sound like me.
Okay.
I wish I could do more with my vocals.
Why is that? What's your restriction?
I think sometimes, maybe going high, I don't know, just, I have problems. Everyone has little problems, I'm not perfect.
Okay, I understand that.
But you don't have to be perfect. I think if you can do something that's good, if you can publish something, create something that's good, and everybody loves it, that's good enough. And you haven't got to be perfect. You can't please everybody. But you can please some of them, and that's the main thing. Right. And it keeps me happy.
It keeps you happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost 63. I'll be 63 this April.
Okay.
I'm still fit.
Of course.
Yeah, I can still jump up, do stuff. I do a little bit of kickboxing and stuff like that. So I'm really still energetic. I don't feel like I'm 63. I feel like I'm probably 30 odd.
Well, yeah.
But I think music, the writing, the sports, everything just keeps me in a nice place.
Okay. Was you born in Birmingham?
Yes, I was. I was born in, I would imagine, in Aston. I came from Aston. Then we moved to Handsworth. Then we went to Paribas. Then I become, obviously, an adult and started moving around, properties.
What was it like growing up in Aston in them days?
In the 60s.
Well.
We was up against, it was a lot of racism them days.
Serious?
Yeah, come on. I don't know if you was around here them times.
I wasn't in this country.
No, you came a bit later, yeah. So the 60s, 70s, there was a lot of skinheads, racism. There was a lot.
Serious?
And I went through a lot as well as a child. People might tend to think that, oh, he had a wonderful life. He's got everything. He's got his own house. I've got properties. I've got a car. I've got everything. But I went through a really, really awful life at the beginning.
Serious?
Yeah. From the age of 8, I lost my mum, my dad. Then 15, I ended up getting put in Borstal, a remand centre. For nothing, I shouldn't have been put in there, but they put me in a remand centre. and I started mixing with the wrong people. So I went in and out of prison, and it took a lot to change my life from who I used to be. You know, because I actually went through a whole heap. You know, there was a lot of deaths in my family, terrible deaths, but it makes you who you are. You know, it makes you.
What's helped you to change your life? What helped you to change your life?
Music.
Music helped you to change your life. Great.
Music.
Yeah,
Music. Music. And I loved speed skating. I used to race on ice for Great Britain. I was in a team called the Birmingham Mohawks.
For Great Britain?
Yeah, for Silver Blades. I was in the B team.
Okay.
And I've been all over the world racing on ice.
Great.
I did that for...
So you're very good then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was... Sports. You tell me what black man ain't good at sports. We're good at every sports. I was good at gymnastics, high jump, Fosbury flop, diving. I wasn't the best swimmer, but diving, I could do
I can
spins.
swim.
Yeah, no, I can somersault, and I can still do stuff like that now.
Serious?
Ice skating, roller skating. I love gymnastics, karate, kung fu, kickboxing, anything sports-wise. I love. Yeah,
Great.
I love. Apart from I'm not football.
You're not football.
I don't like football.
You don't like football?
I don't even like watching it on the TV.
I like football, but I've only ever been to a football match once.
No.
And I had to walk out.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I had to walk out because of abuse.
Yeah, you was abused.
Yeah, I had to walk out because I was abused. The team I was actually, I've said this many times, but you asked, we do this or something. The team I was actually supporting,
Right.
I was actually getting abused
From that.
the same fans.
And can I ask you what team it was?
What team it was? Well, if you know Aston.
Oh, okay.
Well,
It's Villa.
the football ground ain't far from
It's the Villa.
If you're from Aston, the football ground ain't something there.
I used to play in that park opposite there. There's a little hut right by.
It's funny you say that, Sorry, sorry, I should interrupt you. Carry on.
No, you're good.
It's funny you say that because I actually learned to ride a bike in Aston Park. There used to be a bike track in Aston Park.
Right.
And actually, when I learned to ride the bike, because when I was in Jamaica, I recall I was learning to ride a bike, and I remember my cousins. We was going to school one day. We was going to school one morning, and my cousins we was riding to school, and my cousin just one bike. And my cousins had me on the front of the bar. we was kids, we was dangerous. My cousins, so the front of the bar, I was sitting on the front of the bar.
And was it a fixed
and my
wheel?
foot, yes, and my foot was like at the wheel, just on the nuts that goes in. My foot was just on there, and so I was like this, and I was on the bar, and I don't know what happened, but the bike turned upside down.
So you went first.
And I went first. And I had scratches on me. And I remember my cousin dragged me at the road because there was a bus. There was a bus that was in the middle of the road, and there was a bus coming. So my cousin just dragged me at the road. Big shout out to your cousin. And my cousin dragged me at the road. And you know what? It put the snap on my learning to ride a bike.
But you can ride one now.
And I never after that I never got on a bike while I was back in Jamaica. So what I did then, when I came to the UK, actually, as I say, I wasn't living too far at that time. I wasn't living too far from Aston Park, so I used to go to Aston Park because I didn't have any friends. I keep saying that. So I used to go to Aston Park, and I learned to ride a bike in Aston Park. So that's how I know the bike track in Aston Park.
Yeah, all right. But you got many friends now. Huh? You've got the whole of the world out there that will love you. Oh,
So
them were the days.
that was actually that was actually how I actually learned to ride a bike. That's why I asked you if you remember the bike track in Antwerp, in Aston Park.
I could ride. I used to race, ride bikes. We used to do 10 miles, and then we used to go running up the stairs because I used to live in a block of flats in town. You know the two tall towers?
Yeah, I know.
By the night out, was it? The Cleveland and Clydesdale, 31 floors high.
Wow.
We used to run up them stairs 4 times in a training session. This was for skating, and ride bikes long distance. Yeah.
You was fit.
I was fit, very fit. But now,
why did you give it up?
Because even though I'm fit, you know, the younger ones are coming up.
Yeah,
The younger ones, it gets to a point where you're just the numbers now. You're just making up the numbers because you're never going to win anymore. You're getting old. You know, when you start getting old and the younger ones, they're coming up from babies and they're becoming rapid.
But surely you still keep yourself fit.
I still keep fit now. I still do a lot of training now, but I don't skate.
You don't compete. You don't compete.
I don't compete.
Yeah, I understand
I'm
that.
too old for competing. I don't mind competing if it was like kickboxing or something like that. You know, I can hold my own in the ring, but I don't think I would have the stamina for the fast work.
All right.
You know, that speeding, because I'm not doing a lot of fast work now. Do you know, I tend to slow down and do more decorating now. And I go around doing fencing for people and decking and lowering ceilings and fixing people's homes. But I still enjoy the music. That's where my heart is, you know.
And do you like decorating and that sort of thing? You enjoy
Do I
it?
like it? I don't really say I like it, but because I'm good at it.
Okay.
And it's nice to make people happy, you know. Sometimes people can't always get what they want. You know, if they wanted to, if you wanted me to lower this ceiling would probably cost you 1,500 quid. But because you're going to do it for someone yourself, you can cut that price down and save them, and they can have the beauty of a nice ceiling with lighting around it and
I understand.
stuff like that. So it's good to be able to help people in that sense, you know.
Okay, let's go to your book. Pick up the first book. Pick up the first book first. Show us what it's like.
This is the first one.
Tell us about that book.
This was the first one that I wrote.
A little bit. What is it about?
This is about two guys getting arrested.
Hold it up.
These guys are getting arrested for committing crimes they didn't do.
Okay.
And whilst they're in prison, one gets life, recommended 25 years. The other one gets 2 years. And during the course of his sentence, someone tries to rape the guy with 2 years, and this life saves him. And the young guy says, when I get out, I'm going to come and get you out of prison. You know, this is what he's telling his mate in prison, but his mate's looking at him like, yo, are you stupid? You got no education, you've got nothing, you're not going to get me out of prison, just get out. Anyway, the kid gets out, and he goes on this journey where he gets the guys that got him locked up. Because he got locked up for nicking a car, and he got 2 years for that. So he gets these guys, kidnaps them, and he puts them through an ordeal where they kind of think that they're going to die. So they're prepared to do anything for this guy rather than die. And he makes them go back to college and university where they become doctors, lawyers and barristers.
Great.
Take you on a journey, and on this journey they prove that Tobias, who's doing a 25-year life sentence, was innocent, and they get him out of prison legally. It's more of a, it's more of a boost. It's more of a kick up the arse. You know, like you may have messed up your life when you was young.
Yeah, but you can
can
get it together.
You can get it back together and fix it and make something positive.
Positive.
It's a really good story, beautiful story to read. It takes you on a roller coaster ride. It really does. You know, it's a good book.
What inspired you to write that?
I went on holiday and I just wanted to write something.
Yeah.
So I didn't know where I was going to start, but I thought I'm going to use all my families. I'll use all my family names, you know.
Okay.
All my family in this book, even to some of the police. Some of the police names that we use were just little kids, but I used their names so I knew who I was referring to.
Okay.
But you need to read it. It's a good book.
What's it called?
Crossing Paths.
Crossing Paths.
You can download this off Amazon.
How long did it take you to write?
I wrote this in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Great.
But it took me.
Very talented.
It took me 6 months to type it because I'm a slow typer. So I wrote it in 6 weeks, and I didn't know how to use. There's a program called Dragon Speech.
Yeah.
And I think if you talk to it, it types it for you. So I'm planning on getting that for the next book because I don't like the typing. I hate typing.
Yeah, like typing.
I'm a one-finger typer.
Okay.
So it's really slow.
That's great.
But that was the first book I wrote.
And what's it called?
Crossing Paths.
Marvelous. Sounds very
Crossing
good.
Paths by Tony Meade.
What else?
It's a very good read.
What else you got up there? No, hold it. That one right there. Tony, that one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm pointing it at.
What else you got there?
I've got another 4. These are children books.
Yeah, okay, well, tell us. That's even better. That's even good.
Right, so these are children books. This first one is My Meddling Uncle. Now,
what's it called?
My Meddling Uncle.
Okay.
Now, do you remember when you was a child and you used to watch TV? There was a film, a program that used to come on TV called Wrangle and Hopkirk.
No.
You don't remember it?
Well, I wasn't a child in England.
Okay, so you missed it. There was a. There
I was chasing lions and tigers and going on the beach.
Right, there was a. Yeah, well, yeah. I could write a story about that. That'd be really good. So this was about a little boy and his uncle's a ghost. Well, Wrangle and Hopkirk used to be about a police officer,
Okay.
and his co-partner was a ghost.
Okay. Duppy.
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 Duppy, that you'd have called him, yeah. And this Duppy used to help him with his problems, like if there's someone behind the door with a gun or someone and he's going to go into his room, this Duppy used to help him. So this is what's going on here. This Duppy on this side here, this guy here, he's the uncle to this little boy, and he's helping the boy with his problems in life as a little fat boy in school. Because this little fat boy comes from a family of athletics, and he doesn't want to be an athletic. He just wants to be a little boy who eats his food and loves eating cakes and stuff. But this ghost helps him with all these problems, so it's really a good story.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's for children?
Yeah, it's for children.
Okay.
Can I show you the other one?
Yeah, of course you can show me all of
Okay.
them. Take your time.
So-
And where can we find that one?
You can obviously you can go to Amazon. All of these will be on Amazon. You can download any one of these.
Let me ask you the same question. How long did it take you to write that one?
I can't remember.
You can't remember.
Children's books. It's sometimes they can be quick. Sometimes.
How do you write a children's book? How do you put your mind there to write a children's book?
Well, I think you just
Have you-
got to go
have you-
back
have
to
you
when
go
you
back
was
to
a
being a
child.
child?
Yeah, everyone's been a child. We've all been spoiled. We've all had like different things we want to do. But I suppose it's just tapping into the creativity of your own brain.
Okay.
If you are creative enough, you remember a lot of people, we're all having toothpaste and we're all having water and we have all this fluoride, and it kind of like numbs down your creativity. But you've got to try and not numb that down and get rid of that. I try not to have fluoride. I'd like to drink rainwater. Didn't you used to drink rainwater back a yard? You know what I mean? I try to drink rainwater. I try and catch my rainwater and drink it. I don't really want to, and tap water I don't like messing with. But this book, I wrote this one for my daughter.
Okay.
I've got 10 kids.
You got 10 kids?
Yeah, I've got 5 girls, 5 boys.
Yeah.
Each of them, they're all grown up, they're all adults, they're all
Marvelous.
living their own lives now, happy, working. But this was for my daughter. And this was teaching children to have respect for their parents.
What are the parents?
Yeah, if you don't have respect for your parents, there's going to be consequences to pay. So in this story, she has got respect for her parents, but because she didn't listen to some of the advice, she had some consequences to face. There was going to be problems. After writing this one, I wrote part 2 to it. It's the same book. This one was about teaching time.
Okay.
So this book, I try to figure out how can you teach children time, because I remember my mummy when I was a little boy sat us around a table and used to try and teach us time, and she was very disciplined about it, and I didn't like. Even though it was her approach, you can't tell your parents how to teach you stuff.
What do you mean time? Time is that
As in
that,
time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Oh, 1
3
o'clock.
Yeah.
I was thinking of things. I was also looking at another way. Is it in time of being punctual or being late or
No,
that is also another way. Isn't
It was more about time. How do you teach someone time
Okay.
to tell the time? And for me, I didn't want to just teach you time and throw it down your neck, because maybe it's going to be very stressful. So I thought, is there an easier way to teach time to children? So what I did is I took this character, which is my daughter, and every now and then she winds this clock up. And when this clock gets wound up, she ends up on a journey, a bit like Back to the Future or something like this. She ends up on a journey. This journey, she wound the clock and she ended up going through a hole in her bed, which then she's falling through the sky, and she landed on top of this dragon, right? And this dragon lands down by a stream and a tree full of apples and everything. And he asks my daughter, like, is it 4 o'clock yet? And she said, well, what do you want to know if it's 4 o'clock yet? Because he said, well, I want to eat some food. So she said, yes, it's 4 o'clock. So this dragon eats the whole tree. And she looks at the dragon and said, wow, you didn't take long to eat that tree. The dragon says, yeah, I'm on a diet though, you know. And my daughter says, well, if you're on a diet, I heard if you have maybe 4 or 5 small meals, this is better for your metabolism, it helps speed your metabolism up. But the dragon goes, well, I can't tell the time, so I don't know when I should eat 4 or 5 meals. And my daughter goes, I can teach you the time. So she teaches the dragon the time, which in theoretical, if whoever's reading the story is gaining the knowledge that she's teaching to the dragon. So she's not actually having to teach you, but because she teaches the dragon, and you always remember stories. So the dragon sits into your mind, and the story of the time sits into your mind. So you learn the time, and hopefully it'll just make it click. Just like music, sometimes it clicks.
That's marvelous. That's very clever. That is very, very clever. Marvelous.
And then this last one, which is Tales from Figglesby Farm. This is about a farmer who doesn't mix with people. He doesn't like people. He doesn't get on with people. He doesn't like any animals. The only thing he likes is his crop, his lettuces, his cabbages, his beetroots. He likes his vegetables because none of these things answer him back. None of these things cause him any problems. One day he finds out there's a cat in his vicinity, and it's around his farm, and he's noticing that some of his products have been damaged, so he wants to kill this cat, and he gets this gun in his ass looking for this cat. But then he finds out that the cat's not eating his products. The cat is actually protecting his products from the mice.
Okay.
So he becomes great pals with this cat, and they become best friends. That's what the story's about. It's just about love, bit of love, and have a bit of understanding, and don't judge everybody by that first page, because you know there's a full story.
Yeah.
Once you get through the full story, you might realize that that person that you thought was no good actually is very good. So that's what the story is about.
It's marvelous. How many books have you wrote?
I've written these 5. I'm writing at the moment one. I'm writing another one called The Devil's Diary. I'm writing another one called A Vicar's Revenge.
So you love writing then?
No, I don't really love writing. I don't know why I do. It's just something that I can do.
Great.
I just find that I can write. I'm good with words, so I can write. And I just think if I've got a bit of talent, just use it for that. You know, I like writing songs. I like writing poems. I like writing whatever I can write. I don't write journals and I don't write stuff like that, but I just like writing creativity stuff, you know, like poems, stories, songs. I'm just creative in that area.
Question I want to ask you, respect. 'Cause you tell me one of the book was there about respect.
Yes.
One of the book you wrote about respect. How do you see it these days with children, with social media? And I'm not knocking children, even people, even adults in general. How do you see it with the whole internet situation, where we seems to be losing respect for a lot of people, and a lot of people is losing respect for a lot of people? Does that make sense?
I tell you what I'm going to say about
What you gonna say?
childhood days.
Yeah,
You remember when I came in, I said to you, oh yeah, I'm just writing a song.
yeah,
I was listening to this music and I thought, I'm going to write a song about when I was a kid. Discipline, you know, like I used to get an arse bus and things like that. Back in the day, English people don't get them kind of bus arse. We used to get straps, we used to get branch, all of them kind of things there. And since the government stepped in and stopped you from disciplining your children, this is where we got, you know, we got kids now talking to their teachers and disrespecting their dads and their mums and everything. It's obviously we've allowed society to come in and doctrine what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing.
I agree with you to a extent. What I don't sort of agree, I don't believe in the, you know, the 'cause I got it, I had it. It doesn't affect me. Never affect me. I had the beating. It never affected me. Because if it did, and I know people talk about it over the years that they had the beating and it affected me. It never affected me, you know, because I exactly know where I'm coming from. And even if I didn't get it, I was always going to be the person who I am today. Yeah. What I think happens is that, which you touch on with the government, we allowed the government
To dictate.
to grow our kids.
Yeah.
That is my point about it. We allow the government to grow our kids.
When do we think it should stop? Because now, you know, the government are always intervening, and now they're talking about, you know, children can masturbate. They're teaching children of 5 about masturbation. They're teaching children to be like, you know, you boys are now girls. Everything is changing. You know, I'm not saying that. I understand about Aphrodite, or what we call, like, when a boy can turn into a girl, as in when we talk about plants, a female plant can turn into a boy, or a boy plant can turn into a female. I understand that you can have a person that's born with 2 genders. They can have the male gender and a female gender. So I understand that, but I don't like the idea of them teaching children this kind of stuff in school. I don't think they should be teaching this kind of stuff in school.
How do you think they should take it at a later age?
I don't think it's their job to teach this.
Yeah.
Sexuality has nothing to do with, should have nothing to do with teachings in school. You know, this is just, we know boys and girls come together. That's all you need to know in every animal. Every animal, dog will go with a female dog. You know, I'm not saying, I do know that different animals go with different animals sometimes, but boys should be boys and girls should be girls, and you don't need to teach them about sex, because that's natural. That's nature. If we go back before our schools, who was teaching who about sex back in, you know, different centuries ago? We wouldn't have the people here now if they didn't know about sex. You know, this doesn't need to be taught in school. I think it's a bad subject, and I think we shouldn't allow the government to intervene with how we teach our children. You know,
Or is it, or how we sort of teach our children at home, or what's happening? Because I mean, you can say something to your child at home, which is not, it's not bad. And you're not dictating. You just say discipline. You know what I mean? And before you know that, the child can phone
and turn against you. Yeah,
the child can phone somebody up and come in and turn against you.
Do you know? As a person, I was brought up with discipline, and I believe I needed it.
Yeah.
I was a little bad boy.
Oh, you was a bad boy.
I'm going to say it because it wasn't that I was a bad boy. I had a good heart.
Yeah.
But I went through such a lot of bad stuff as a child that I was a bad boy.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that I needed that discipline, and because it wasn't abusive, it was discipline. It was given because I did something wrong, you know. So I believe that discipline was, I should have had that discipline. I could have been a worse child.
I see your point. Well, I would say, like, from my experience, most Caribbean children or descendants Caribbean children who was born in Africa or the Caribbean, they grew up with discipline. But not because it was bad. That was just the way you grew up. You know what I mean? That's what was right. And I'm not talking about beating and hitting and something. You know what I mean? Listen, that is wrong. That is wrong, and I will look at you, and you will know it's wrong.
Yes, right.
You understand? I don't have to hit you. I don't have to give you a punishment.
No,
I could look at you and say that is wrong, and you would know. So I think, as I say, most Afro children, you know what I mean, well, I was brought up with discipline, and not because there was not because there was bad. There was, I grew in a family that we was all disciplined, and none of us was bad. None of us turned out to be bad.
No.
None of us turned out to be any bad person that, you know what I mean, like get involved in crazy things or some of the things that was going on now. So from my experience. So as I said, but discipline is discipline, you know what I mean? And,
it is needed.
And it's not because you're bad that you should have discipline, you know what I mean?
No, it teaches
don't do
you.
Don't do that.
It teaches you to have respect.
Yeah, and it's also we're running out of time. It's also teach you to respect, to have respect in life, growing up, going outside, growing up. You see some of the things that's going on our street now. A lot of it is coming from lack of discipline.
It teaches you to love the elder generation, because I think the elder generation must hate us.
Yeah.
You know, as children, I'm talking about. You know, when you see these kids coming up now and they've got no, you know, back in their times, the discipline was important. And you'll see now, How many kids are going to grow up with this kind of polite attitude, this mannerism to people? Show that, you know, they show the love to their parents. They don't show the love to the parents anymore. They try and overrule the parents. They don't have respect for the teachers. They don't have respect for the police. They don't have respect for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
It's discipline is very, very much needed. It doesn't have to be like you said, boss ass and all that kind of stuff, but it definitely is needed.
Yeah.
You can't let the government dictate how you bring your children up.
Yeah.
You know, because the government are never going to be how we are. They don't understand what we've been through as people. You know, and if we don't discipline our children, and the reason we do it because we don't want our children to be in and out of prison. That's the reason why you do it. You might say, oh, it's bad to discipline your child, but if it stops your child from going to prison and going through a system where the governments are going to bad name and it's going to wreck your child's future, I think it's important to have it. I really do. It didn't do bad for me. It taught me to change my life. You know, if I didn't have that discipline, I'd still be going around now doing some of the crazy things I used to do as a child. You know.
What your social media? Where can we find your work on social media?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I think I'm on TikTok. Most of the normal ones that people are on at the moment. Like I said, since I've written these books, it's been over 11 years easy since I've written these books. I still haven't been paid for them. I'm trying to figure out somebody's selling these books. If you order any one of these books off the Amazon, they're going to send it to you. Someone's going to send it to you, and you're going to receive it. And I don't know who's sending out the books. I don't know who sells them. I don't get paid for these books, even though I've done them. It's really crazy. I've copyrighted them. I am the publisher. But like I said, you've got dark forces. There's dark forces, and a lot of the Asian people that I deal with, the people that are selling my books are a lot of Asian people. I don't even know them. I don't know them, and they're selling books, and I don't know how they're selling e-books, they sell hard copy books, and they're all getting paid for these books that they sell, but I haven't seen a penny. So I wish if there's anyone out there in there who knows about copywriting and wants to help me, get in contact with you, Carl. And
we'll pass the information on.
That would be good, yeah.
We'll pass
because there's got to be something about copywriting.
Yeah.
You know, you're not allowed to sell someone's books without that permission of the person. You know, I gave Amazon, but I don't even get paid from Amazon. I haven't heard in 11 years. I've heard nothing.
Okay. Well, I hope somebody see what's going on out there, and I hope they can help you. We're actually coming to the end of the program.
Yeah.
Let me say thank you for coming to the program.
It's been nice.
You enjoy the program?
Yeah, it's been really cool, man. I mean, sitting down here with you, you're a bit of a celebrity on the
I'm
side.
not a celebrity.
You're doing a good job.
I'm not a celebrity.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you very much.
That's what
It's down to my producer.
You produce, yeah, but you're promoting local artists. You're promoting the people. You know, otherwise people will forget us.
Okay.
You know, you're doing a wonderful job, and that's the main thing. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother. Tony. Thank you.
Blessings.
Right, guys, there you have it. Thank you, Tony. Your name, Tony Meade?
Yep.
Yes, author, singer. Check him out on social media. Let me say thank you, guys, for tuning into Breakthrough TV. Have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. And don't forget, you can catch me on the Drive Time Show tomorrow. NewStarRadio.com. www.newstarradio.com. Call with a C on the Drive Time Show, New Star Radio. Go live from 3 till 6. And you can also catch me there Thursday and Fridays, New Star Radio. Have a great afternoon. Look after yourself. Thank you. Producer, God bless you, sir. Wonderful job again. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon. God bless.